Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. It's all about the Charlotte Tilbury Foundation. I've had this since the Sephora sale and I've just kind of been sitting on it. I've tested this out about 3 times, so I don't really have a solid opinion. It's not a first impressions, but it's not, a dedicated straight review either. But I do have some thoughts and opinions about it, and I do think that it's worth talking about. So if you're interested in this video and you like me, please subscribe. It is free. I hope you will. And at the end of the video, if you did like it, give me a thumbs up. It really helps me out a lot. So with that, let's get straight into the video. You do get 30 mils, 1 fluid ounce, and it is $44. This comes in 44 shades. This has been tested among 650 men and women to create the perfect, undertones and flawless finish, which she states flawless finish. Let's talk about the packaging. It's very, very heavy. So this is what the foundation looks like. It's very luxe, like Charlotte Tilbury products are, and it's got the frosted glass. It has the gold looking type, and then we've got the pump. Now, it says on the bottom, your shade. I have been matched at 5 Cool. So how I match the foundation is going on Sephora's website and typing in any current foundation I'm using and going with that recommendation. So this ended up working out for me. Shade 5 Cool. L'Oreal Freshwater, I'm anywhere from 445 to 465 depending on my self tan. So let's get into a little bit of claims about this foundation. It says it's a soft matte finish, full coverage, weightless, poreless looking. It stays all day. Claims to reduce wrinkles 22% after 8 weeks with Replexium. I don't know what that is, but 95% of people said their pores looks reduced. It's sweat, humidity, and waterproof and transfer resistant, and it moisturizes for 24 hours. And within the first hour, it does say that 95% say that their skin has been proven to be felt more moisturized. Okay, so let's get into the demo and application. I'm going to take a half a pump, so that much. And I will start out by saying that this is extremely full coverage, so I'm only going to take the slightest amount and blend this in with a blender of any sort. I haven't worn primer with this. I just heavily moisturize. I don't find that I need to wear primer with this. It's a really good foundation. Sorry, that's my chair here that I'm sitting on. So it is weightless. It does feel like I'm wearing absolutely nothing. I've barely used any of the product right now. I'm still just working in light sections, which is what I highly recommend doing. Just going to add some more coverage where I need it. This is really, really refreshing feeling. It has a slight cooling sensation, I would say, which is rather nice on a hot day. And I still have this much product left, so I'm going to do my forehead. So with just half a pump, I've achieved this much coverage. I'm happy with it, but I'm going to build it up just a little bit more to show you guys how it built up. So it's completely erased, my texture and everything like that. All my blemishes that I had, the redness. Here's what my face looks like after half a pump. Not too bad, and there's still some left over. My biggest recommendation is to take it slow with this foundation. Don't over apply, and I wouldn't suggest doing your whole face at one time. So let's build it up with another half a pump. I'm just going to add that, And I only like to add it where I absolutely need it. Say I'm having an active breakout or I've got some acne scarring, because it most definitely is full coverage. There's no doubt about it. But it does look very flawless. It smells, a slight smell to it. Nothing out of the ordinary. It smells pretty good, in fact. Slightly fresh. And I don't know that my forehead needs a lot more. But you can use a brush. I've used a brush and I've had to use less product with a brush. But I do find that I have to go over it with the beauty sponge anyway. Whatever way you choose to do your foundation is how you choose to do your foundation. And I still have some left, so I'm just going to take that and just use the rest of it. Keep in mind I'm not focusing on my under eyes because I'm going to be placing concealer there. Still have some left. It's the never-ending foundation. Alright guys, here's what my foundation looks like after freshly applying it. I do have to smooth it out a little bit more, I would say, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. But I would say this is definitely full coverage. It is a natural matte, as it states. And I do notice that depending on the weather or how hot I am, it will kind of settle right here. But that's not a big deal to me. It's really soft, lightweight. It feels like I'm wearing nothing. It's full coverage, but it can look cakey if you take too much at one time and place it in one area at one time. I highly recommend doing the half a pump, just the way I applied it to get maximum results. And yeah, I really like this finish. Now I am in front of a window in front of natural light, so you can see just how it sits on the skin. So it is full coverage. It does not look cakey at all to me. I do just notice that it does settle here just a little bit. But other than that, it looks pretty flawless as it states. I'm going to be going in with the Dermablend concealer. It's a smooth liquid camo, medium coverage concealer. I don't need, a full coverage concealer at this point because I think that the foundation did a pretty good job. I'm just going to add little by little and sort of just really blend that out. This is a really good concealer. I highly recommend Dermablend. And as you can see, I'm not going for an extremely dramatic look. I think that this foundation can look cakey and is suitable for, a night out or something like that. I guess it just depends how you want to layer it. You can use moisturizer to sheer it out a bit, to wear every day if you would like. I would wear this foundation on an everyday basis because I don't apply too much. It definitely looks as though I am wearing makeup, there's no doubt about it, but it doesn't look heavy makeup. It looks like a nice light makeup, and I really appreciate that. So for the price of $44, I really think that's inexpensive considering the Too Faced and the Anastasia are around the same price point, and this is Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm getting a very flawless effect, which I really love. All right, now that my concealer's blended out, I was gonna say blend out, oh my god, blended out, I do have some Charlotte Tilbury products also. I have her Flawless Finishing Powder in Airbrush, Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder, and I chose one Fair. So I'm just going to take my Sephora brush and I'm going to set all of the areas that I placed concealer. I'm going to set the whole entire face with her powder. I think I'll just use this brush for where I placed the concealer, and my bigger brush to set the whole face. Alright, so I've just finished setting it with that Airbrush powder, and this is what the skin looks like. Pretty perfect in my opinion. I'm going to go put the rest of my eye makeup on the bottom lash line, and then we'll do the face together and see how everything layers. And I also have her light wand for a highlight that we're going to be using. So yeah, I'll be right back. Alright guys, I finished my eye makeup. Let me know if you want a tutorial on this look, this eye look. I used the Urban Decay Born to Run for this. So, it claims to be transfer resistant. We have not set the face down with a setting spray or anything like that. I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to press on my face and see that it is in fact transfer resistant. Nothing came off on this. So that claim is in fact true. Let's get to applying the rest of our makeup. For bronzer, I think I'm just going to go in with the Hourglass Diffused Bronze Light. It's one of my very favorites on my Sonia Kashuk brush. I like this a lot. It's just such a classic bronzer. Can't go wrong with Hourglass. They have some of the most killer products. I love bronzer. You really can't go overboard with this one. I think you can just layer and layer and layer, and it's never going to look muddy or patchy. I'm just going to sort of put this where the sun naturally hits. It looks good. For blush, I'm going into the Sigma Blush Cheek Palette, and this comes with a really nice mirror. There's 6 shades of blush. I think I'm going to go in with the 2 lightest shades here in Pet Name and Pinkini. It's just really such a nice palette. These blushes are super pigmented as well. So as per the norm, I usually take them and just place it all over my face, kind of everywhere. These are all matte except Tiger Lily and Spice. Those have a little bit of a little sheen to them, but that looks nice. Now moving on to the highlight, I did mention that I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury highlighting wand. Easy highlighter it says in Spotlight, so I twist it open. And there is an on-off, like it's a twist to open. And what I do is I just put a little bit on the back of my hand. A little bit goes a long way. And this was too much. I've just wasted like $50. No, I think the whole thing was $50. I'm not sure. But it goes well over powder. It doesn't stick or cling to an area. It doesn't lift the foundation. So it goes on perfectly fine with a beauty sponge. And your finger doesn't lift the foundation at all. I just find it really, really, really beautiful. And why not take that on the inner corner? That's so pretty. Of course, a car goes by right now. I'm in my bedroom. There's people complaining about my lighting. I'm not a professional. I do this to help people, and because it's fun, not because I'm trying to be a celebrity or be in the spotlight or make a ton of money. If an opportunity arises, then it arises, but it's not going to change who I am or why I'm doing YouTube, really. So as you can see, this is extremely glowy. Really, really beautiful highlight. This wears all day. Last but not least, we have our lips to do. What am I gonna do? I'm just going to close it and hope that that product doesn't. I have so much left. I guess I could put some right here. Oh, such a waste. At least we're looking dewy and glowy here. So yes, lips, last but not least. Just line my lips with the Pure On Point lip pencil in the shade Teddy. Now I'm going in with the Clinique lipstick in 01. Barely, looks like this. Nothing alike, of course, I can't match lipsticks to liners apparently. I love this Clinique lipstick, it's so gorgeous. Then I'm going to top that off with Rodeo Drive by Ofra. I just had it. Okay, I'm like, I just had it. It looks like this, and yeah, it's a lip gloss from Ofra called Rodeo Drive. Just put that in the center. And I am going to set this since I'm familiar with it, and I'm just going to set it with the Pixie Glow Mist. And then when I do that, usually take the sponge and go over everything. Just to make sure that it's all nice and cohesive and blended. So my final thoughts. I really think the claims are very accurate with this foundation, although I do think that it's more of, it's not so matte. I wouldn't call it a matte. It's almost like a satin to me. It's like natural satin. It felt very velvety, satiny when I set it before I put anything else on. And it's very long wearing. The longest I got, I think, was about 13.5 hours of wear. The only places I noticed that it did break up was just around here, which is perfectly normal. I think for $44 for the 1 ounce that it's actually really, really worth it. You can customize this to be medium to very, very full coverage. And I did just high medium coverage today. I mean, I say it's full, but I really barely did anything. I could have really built it up to super full glam, so this can be like your everyday foundation or it can be your super glam days foundation. It's just very versatile. I really think the claims are accurate. They really nailed it with my shade range online. It doesn't oxidize, it doesn't break up throughout the day everywhere, it doesn't separate, it doesn't cake. I've tested this in super hot weather, very cold weather. I find it does better in cooler weather. My skin tends to get a little bit more dry when it's cool, and it tends to wear better when it's cooler out, if that makes any sense. My skin, now that I'm transitioning into the fall and winter, is going to be very, very dry, and in the summer and spring it's combination, and in the summer it's oily. So that's just for reference. My skin is what it is. High maintenance, yes, but I really, really am happy that I purchased the foundation. I'm not going to return it. There's no need to. It looks absolutely stunning. It looks like my skin. I don't look overly cakey or makeup-y or anything. You can still see a little bit of imperfections, but everything's all smoothed out. It looks really, really flawless. I'm so happy with this foundation, and I did test it over a period of about 3 days. So I'm still working with it. I've worn it with no primer and primer, and it doesn't really seem to make a difference other than if I were to wear a pore filler primer in these areas, then the pore filler would just fill in the pores a little bit. My favorite pore filler is the Revlon in the pink tube. So yeah, guys, I hope this is helpful. Those are my thoughts on the new Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I think it's actually really inexpensive compared to the Pat McGrath, where everybody was having issues with that, you know, and this is just kind of easy peasy, no fuss. It's not as drying and matte and cakey as the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I find that it's just really right in the middle. It's like the perfect foundation for me. I recommend it, yes, if you have the budget for it. If you are in the market looking for a really great foundation that can be medium or go to full and look flawless throughout the day, rarely cake or separate, that works well in different weather conditions, and you're working a long shift, then I think this is for you. I really do. I would not make a recommendation that I don't stand behind. So yes, I've only used it 3 days, but I have formed my thoughts and opinions on it. I've worn it in different weather conditions, like I said. So I really hope this was helpful. It's a beautiful finish, beautiful foundation, $44. You really can't go wrong. You need to use the smallest amount. I mean, if I were to use a brush, I'm sure I would have had way fuller coverage than with the sponge, which tends to shear things out a bit, if that makes sense too. So yeah, I love you guys. I hope this was helpful to some of you. Subscribe if you are not already, and I love you. I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.